ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna, welcome back. So we are studying 14th chapter of Śrimad Bhagavad Gita, and we have completed the first 9 verses, the 2 sections, and the first verse of the 3rd section, that is 10th verse also. As it is in the transition of these 2 sections, so we had already covered it in our previous verse, where we see the war between the 3 gunas that we learned from this 10th verse, how always there is going on a war between these 3 gunas, and one is dominating over the other 2. Sometimes sattva is dominating, sometimes rajas, sometimes tamas. So this is an ongoing process. And now we will start this verse, that is 11. As we say that 10, 11, 12, 13, these 4 verses come under the section, 3rd section, and there we can identify the effect of gunas, that is by the action performed by any person, we can identify what guna is dominating in him at the present moment. So we will start with verse number 11. Can you see this? 1 minute. Okay. सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युत. Synonyms. Sarvadvareshu, in all the gates. Dehe asmin, in this body. Prakashaha, the quality of illumination. Upajayate, develops. Jnanam, knowledge. Yada, when. Tada, at that time. Vidyat, know. Vivridham, increased. Sattvam, the mode of goodness. Iti uta, thus it is said. Translation. The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. So as we already learned that a person is bound by knowledge and happiness when he is in Sattva Guna. So we see here it is said the manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. So there are 9 gates in this body. Navadvare pure dehi. That is 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth, 1 genital, and 1 anus. So these are the 9 gates. So when all the gates are illuminated by this quality of goodness, a person is said to be in the mode of goodness. So it means that when a person is in goodness, he can see all the things as they are. So which means perfect seeing. This is the symptom of Sattva Guna. Then one becomes thoroughly cleansed inside and outside. And a person becomes happy. So these are the few symptoms of being in Sattva Guna. Now the next verse will describe how it is when Rajoguna starts dominating. Lobha pravrittirarambha karmanam spriha rajasyetani jayante vivriddhe bharatarushabha. Lobha, greed. Pravrittihi, activity. Arambha, endeavor. Karmana, in activities. Ashamaha, uncontrollable. Spriha, desire. Rajasi, of the mode of passion. Etani, all these. Jayante, develop. Vivriddhe, when there is an excess. Bharata O chief of the descendants of Bharata. Translation. O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. So we already discussed while studying the verses 6, 7 and 8 to some extent. So here we can see that severe attachment, desire for the fruits of activities, intense endeavor, extreme desire and hankering for everything develop in this mode when a rajas dominates. So these are the characteristic features of the mode of passion. So a kind of discontentment, the tendency of sense gratification, these are also the characteristic features. Now the next, that is tamas. Aprakasho pravrittischa pramado moha evacha tamasyetani jayante vivriddhe kuru nandana. Aprakashaha, darkness. Apravrittihi, inactivity. Cha, and pramadaha, madness. Mohaha, illusion. Eva, certainly. Cha, also. Tamasi, the mode of ignorance. Etani, these. Jayante, are manifested. Vivriddhe, when developed. Kuru Nandana, O son of Kuru. Translation. When there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. So, darkness, that is complete ignorance, inertia, madness, illusion, these are the characteristic features of tamas, tamoguna. So there we can see a person who is in ignorance, he acts whimsically without following any rules and regulations and without any purpose. And even though he has the capacity to work, he makes no endeavor. This is due to illusion. Consciousness is going on, but he is acting as an unconscious being. So these are the symptoms of tamoguna. Now we see from 14 to 18, Bhagavan will say, when a person dies, what will be his destination? That is determined by the guna which is dominating at that particular moment. So if a person dies when sattva guna dominates, his destination will be certain. Similarly, when other gunas dominate, destination will be different. Now he will say in the next 3 verses. So let's chant. Yada sattve pravriddhe tu pralayam yati deha bhrit taduttama vidam lokan amalan pratipadyate. Synonyms. Yada, when. Sattve, the mode of goodness. Pravriddhe, developed. Tu, but. Pralayam, dissolution. Yati, goes. Dehabhrit, the embodied. Tada, at that time. Uttamavidam, of the great sages. Lokan, the planets. Amalan, pure. Pratipadyate, attains. Translation. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great sages. So, when a person dies in the mode of sattva, he is transferred to the higher planetary systems where the great sages live. So here we see it is said in the purport, the word Amalan is significant. It means free from the modes of passion and ignorance. There are impurities in the material world, but the mode of goodness is the purest form of existence in the material world. Those who die in the mode of goodness are elevated to the planets where great sages and great devotees live. So though it is materially contaminated, the material touch is there, still it is the purest among all. So that is why the elevation is guaranteed when a person dies in the mode of goodness. Elevation to the higher planets. Now the next verse 15. Rajasi pralayam gatva Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralinastamasi mudhayonishu jayate. Rajasi, in passion. Pralayam, dissolution. Gatva, attaining. Karma sangishu, in the association of those engaged in fruitive activities. Jayate, takes birth. Tatha, similarly. Pralinaha, being dissolved. Tamasi, in ignorance. Mudhayonishu, in animal species. Jayate, takes birth. Translation. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities, and when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. So here in this verse number 15, both the destination of the people who die in the mode of passion as well as in the mode of ignorance described here. See, when a person dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. As we have already learned that expecting the results of their actions is a characteristic of Raja. So they take birth among the people who are engaged in the fruitive actions. And they who die in the mode of ignorance, they take birth in the animal kingdom. Mudhayonishu jayate. So they are degraded. So in the 16th verse, Bhagavan is telling the results of action and the three gunas in a nutshell. Karmana sukritasyahuhu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkhaṃ ajñānam tamasah phalam. So it is very interesting. This is the result. Karmanaha of work, sukritasya pious, ahuhu is said, satvikam in the mode of goodness, nirmalam purified, phalam the result, rajasaha of the mode of passion, tu but, phalam the result, dukkham misery, ajñānam nonsense, tamasaha of the mode of ignorance, phalam the result. Translation. The result of pious action is pure, and it is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in misery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. So we see the result of pious action. It is said to be in the mode of goodness. So I will read the purport here. The result of pious activities in the mode of goodness is pure. Therefore, the sages who are free from all illusion are situated in happiness. But activities in the mode of passion are simply miserable. Any activity for material happiness is bound to be defeated. If, for example, one wants to have a skyscraper, so much human misery has to be undergone before a big skyscraper can be built. The financier has to take much trouble to earn a mass of wealth, and those who are slaving to construct the building have to render physical toil. The miseries are there. Thus Bhagavad Gita says that in any activity performed under the spell of the mode of passion, there is definitely great misery. There may be a little so-called mental happiness. I have this house or this money, but this is not actual happiness. As far as the mode of ignorance is concerned, the performer is without knowledge, and therefore all his activities result in present misery, and afterwards he will go on toward animal life. Animal life is always miserable. Although under the spell of the illusory energy Maya, the animals do not understand this. Slaughtering poor animals is also due to the mode of ignorance. The animal killers do not know that in the future the animal will have a body suitable to kill them. That is the law of nature. In human society, if one kills a man, he has to be hanged. That is the law of the state. Because of ignorance, people do not perceive that there is a complete state controlled by the Supreme Lord. Every living creature is a son of the Supreme Lord, and he does not tolerate even an ant's being killed. One has to pay for it. So indulgence in animal killing for the test of the tongue is the grossest kind of ignorance. A human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. If one indulges in meat eating anyway, it is to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and is making his future very dark. Of all kinds of animal killing, the killing of cows is most vicious because the cow gives us all kinds of pleasure by supplying milk. Cow slaughter is an act of the grossest type of ignorance. In the Vedic literature, Rig Veda 9.46.4, the words Gobhihi, Pritina, Prinita, Matsaram indicate that one who being fully satisfied by milk is desirous of killing the cow is in the grossest ignorance. Gobhihi prinita matsaram. So, there is also a prayer in the Vedic literature that states, Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. My Lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and the Brahmanas, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and world. Vishnu Purana 1.19.65. The purport is that special mention is given in that prayer for the protection of the cows and the Brahmanas. Brahmanas are the symbol of spiritual education, and cows are the symbol of the most valuable food. These two living creatures, the Brahmanas and the cows, must be given all protection. That is the real advancement of civilization. In modern human society, spiritual knowledge is neglected and cow killing is encouraged. It is to be understood then that human society is advancing in the wrong direction and is clearing the path to its own condemnation. A civilization which guides the citizens to become animals in their next lives is certainly not a human civilization. The present human civilization is, of course, grossly misled by the modes of passion and ignorance. It is a very dangerous age, and all nations should take care to provide the easiest process, Krishna consciousness, to save humanity from the greatest danger. So we see how here Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport that the actions we are performing in the mode of goodness certainly paving the path for us to fall down to the lower existence of life. So, if we understand this, we will start acting in the line which can elevate us in future, whether it is in this life or in the next lives. So the next verse 17. Sattva sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha eva cha pramada mohau tamaso bhavato jnanameva cha. Synonyms: Sattvat, from the mode of goodness; sanjayate, develops; jnana, from the mode of passion; lobha, greed; eva, certainly; cha, also; pramada, madness; mohau, and illusion; tamasaha, from the mode of ignorance; bhavataha, develop; ajnanam, nonsense; eva, certainly; cha, also. Translation: from the mode of goodness, real knowledge; from the mode of passion, greed develops; and from the mode of ignorance develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. So we can say this verse is a section summary. This verse and the next verse also, as they are the concluding verses also, we can say. So Bhagavan says that from the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. As we studied in the previous verse, that is in verse number 11, that how the seeing is perfect in the mode of goodness. In Sattva Guna, a person can see the things as they are. So, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. As a person acts for the fruits of their actions, as he is always endeavoring for better living, better sense gratification and everything. So his greed increases in course of time. And from the mode of ignorance develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. As we see, inertia, whimsical action, delusion, and lack of knowledge. These are the characteristic of tamoguna. So here also I would like to read the purport. Since the present civilization is not very congenial to the living entities, Krishna consciousness is recommended. Through Krishna consciousness, society will develop the mode of goodness. When the mode of goodness is developed, people will see things as they are. In the mode of ignorance, people are just like animals and cannot see things clearly. In the mode of ignorance, for example, they do not see that by killing one animal, they are taking the chance of being killed by the same animal in the next life, as it is mentioned in the purport of the previous verse also. Because people have no education in actual knowledge, they become irresponsible. To stop this irresponsibility, education for developing the mode of goodness of the people in general must be there. When they are actually educated in the mode of goodness, they will become sober in full knowledge of things as they are. Then people will be happy and prosperous. Even if the majority of the people aren't happy and prosperous, if a certain percentage of the population develops Krishna consciousness and becomes situated in the mode of goodness, then there is a possibility for peace and prosperity all over the world. Otherwise, if the world is devoted to the modes of passion and ignorance, there can be no peace or prosperity. In the mode of passion, people become greedy and their hankering for sense enjoyment has no limit. One can see that even if one has enough money and adequate arrangements for sense gratification, there is neither happiness nor peace of mind. As we can see in the West, people are having everything in terms of material comfort, but they are not happy. That is not possible because one is situated in the mode of passion. This is the reason they are not happy. If one wants happiness at all, his money will not help him. He has to elevate himself to the mode of goodness by practicing Krishna consciousness. When one is engaged in the mode of passion, not only is he mentally unhappy, but his profession and occupation are also very troublesome, as we discussed in the last purport also. He has to devise so many plans and schemes to acquire enough money to maintain his status quo. This is all miserable. In the mode of ignorance, people become mad. Being distressed by their circumstances, they take shelter of intoxication and thus they sink further into ignorance. Their future in life is very dark. So that is why it is said that ignorance develops foolishness, madness, and illusion. So it is said here, here Srila Prabhupada is recommending that if a certain percentage of human society become Krishna conscious and start acting in that consciousness, in that divine consciousness. Krishna consciousness is spiritual consciousness, that is divine consciousness. So at least by practicing Krishna consciousness, one can be elevated to the mode of sattva. And then this irresponsible activities will be minimized. And so peace and prosperity will be there in this world. This verse is also a section summary, we can say, or the conclusion. So let us chant it. ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सर्वस्था मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः. ऊर्ध्वं upwards, gachanti go, sattvastha situated in the rajasaha, those situated in the mode of passion, jaghanya of abominable, guna quality, vrittisthaha whose occupation, adhaha down, gachanti go, tamasaha persons in the mode of ignorance. Translation: those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live in the earthly planets, and those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. So as it is said in the previous verse, that is 15th, Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate, that is they take birth among those engaged in fruitive activities, that is the earthly planets, because this is the karma kshetra, we can say, the earth, the earthly planets, it is the karma kshetra. So the people who dies or acts, who die or act in this in this mode, that is in the mode of passion, their destination is in the earthly planets after death of this body. So okay, the purport I am reading. In this verse, the results of action in the three modes of nature are more explicitly set forth. There is an upper planetary system consisting of the heavenly planets, where everyone is highly elevated. According to the degree of development of the mode of goodness, the living entity can be transferred to various planets in this system. The highest planet is Satyaloka or Brahmaloka, where we already discussed about these 14 planetary systems, so I'm not repeating it. The highest planet is Satyaloka or Brahmaloka, where the prime person of this universe, Lord Brahma, resides. We have seen already that we can hardly calculate the wondrous condition of life in Brahmaloka. But the highest condition of life, the mode of goodness, can bring us to this. The mode of passion is mixed. It is in the middle between the modes of goodness and ignorance. A person is not always pure, but even if he should be purely in the mode of passion, he will simply remain on this earth as a king or a rich man. But because there are mixtures, one can also go down. People on this earth, in the mode of passion or ignorance, cannot forcibly approach the higher planets by machine. In the mode of passion, there is also the chance of becoming mad in the next life. As we see this certain people, certain wealthy people who are mad due to the pride of their wealth, they are planning to go to the moon for their vacation, to spend their holidays. So this is the madness in Rajaguna. The lowest quality, the mode of ignorance, is described here as abominable. The result of developing ignorance is very, very risky. It is the lowest quality in material nature. Beneath the human level, there are 8 million species of life: birds, beasts, reptiles, trees, etc. And according to the development of the mode of ignorance, people are brought down to these abominable conditions. The word tamasaha is very significant here. Tamasaha indicates those who stay continuously in the mode of ignorance without rising to a higher mode. Their future is very dark. There is an opportunity for men in the modes of ignorance and passion to be elevated to the mode of goodness. And that system is called Krishna consciousness. But one who does not take advantage of this opportunity will certainly continue in the lower modes. So we see, if we are practicing Krishna consciousness, that is, remaining in divine consciousness, we are acting according to the Shastras, the rules and regulations set in the Shastras. Then definitely we can be elevated to the mode of Sattva, even if presently we are in the mode of passion or ignorance. It is possible. Because when we surrender to the Lord and the rules and regulations laid down by Him, He helps us to elevate ourselves. And therefore, this Krishna consciousness is so powerful that a person can come out from these lower modes, that is ignorance and passion, to the mode of goodness by the blessings of the Lord and by the association of the other people who are already in that mode, or even higher, that is Vishuddha Sattva, as we have learnt about. So we see these few verses, that is 10 to 18. Here we learnt about the characteristics of the 3 gunas, the action and death in three gunas. And also we have learned how to elevate ourselves from the lower guna to the higher one. So in the next section, that is from 19 to 27, we will discuss about the way to get liberated from this bondage. That is how to become transcendental or gunatita, how to go beyond all the three gunas. That we will discuss in our next class. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।